Hello family, and welcome to Smart Hustle. Let's dive right into today's explainer because we are tackling a topic that literally shapes our reality. Let me ask you something right off the bat. Why is it that some people seem to just rocket ahead in life? Why do some individuals build steady, lasting wealth while others are completely stuck in survival mode, sometimes for decades? Today we're breaking down exactly how rich people use time differently. And trust me, this paradigm shift is an absolute game changer.
And it all begins with this crazy equalizer, 24. Every single person on this planet, no matter your background or your current bank balance, gets the exact same 24 hours in a day. It's the ultimate level playing field. But if the raw material we're all given is exactly the same, the mechanics of how we use it has to be where the secret lies.
So we really need to reframe our entire understanding of what wealth actually is. We tend to look at highly successful people and just assume the real difference between them and everyone else is simply money, right? We think they just have more capital. But what if the foundational difference isn't about acquiring money first at all? What if the true separator is actually how they view and how they utilize their time? Look, most people operate under the assumption that money is the ultimate asset. But wealthy individuals understand a much deeper truth. Money? You can lose it, you can spend it, you can invest it poorly, and you can earn it all back again. Fortunes are rebuilt all the time. But time is fundamentally different. Once an hour is spent, it is permanently gone. Zero refunds. You can't earn it back or negotiate for more of it. And that single realization completely changes how you operate every single day.
Because they recognize that time is an unrenewable resource, financially successful people get intensely intentional with their schedules. They absolutely refuse to just let the day happen to them. Instead, they make sure every single hour has a deliberate direction. Think of your hours like a team of employees working for you. If you don't give them a specific job to do, they're just going to wander aimlessly. Wealthy individuals act as the strict managers of their own time.
So, how are those hours actually deployed? Well, here's a major difference. Average people spend the vast majority of their free time consuming. You know the drill. Scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, reacting to the news, basically just escaping reality. But wealthy-minded people completely flip that ratio. They spend their time creating. They are actively building new skills, designing systems that work for them, and generating brand new opportunities.
Dedicating your hours to building those skills and systems is absolutely vital. Why? Because shifting from passive consumption to active creation is what actually alters your trajectory. Consumption just keeps you parked exactly where you are. But creation actively changes the future. Every time you create, you're literally depositing value into your own future timeline. You're building the engine that will eventually generate your wealth.
Now let's move to another massive shift we see in the wealthy, the battle between immediate comfort and long-term thinking. Most of us are hardwired for that quick dopamine hit today, the easy, comfortable choice right now. But high performers have trained themselves to completely abandon the pursuit of short-term comfort. They operate on a timeline of years, not minutes. For them, it's these massive long-term goals that ultimately dictate their daily schedule. In fact, financially intelligent people are constantly evaluating their daily choices using this exact mindset. When deciding how to spend a Saturday or whether to buy something new, they stop and ask, what will this decision do for me years from now? It acts as an incredible filter, guys. It instantly clarifies what is a complete waste of time versus what is a solid investment. They just know that time rewards long-term behavior. And because they have such clear long-term goals, rich people fiercely protect their focus. They treat it like a bank vault. Let's be real. In our modern world, we are under constant siege. Constant entertainment, endless notifications, nonstop noise. Financially successful people recognize that these aren't just minor annoyances. Distraction is the absolute enemy of progress.
All of those quiet little interruptions are quite literally stealing your time. 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there. It feels harmless in the moment, right? But over the long haul, that stolen time translates directly into stolen potential. You aren't just losing an hour of your afternoon. You are losing the skills you could have mastered in that hour and the foundation you could have laid for your future.
Which brings us to a concept people drastically underestimate: compounding. We always hear about compounding when it comes to money, but it applies even more aggressively to time. Just one single hour wasted every day on mindless distractions compounds into entire years lost over the course of your life. It is a slow, silent leak of your most valuable asset. But on the flip side, the power of compounding time works beautifully in your favor too. Deliberately investing just 1 hour a day into personal growth, building a side business, or mastering a new skill, that will completely alter your future trajectory. It seems like such a tiny daily decision, but man, that intentional time stacks up fast and builds a massive advantage. See how this builds? Wealthy people value time differently because they understand how it stacks up. It's the absolute foundation behind all success. Look at this. First, you invest time to develop skills. Building those skills forces you to build discipline. That combination of skill and discipline makes you capable of seizing opportunities. And those opportunities, that's what finally leads to explosive compounding growth. You just can't skip straight to growth without putting the time in at step one.
So the ultimate takeaway from our explainer today is this. Once you control your time and you start actually respecting it as your single greatest asset, your life inevitably begins to change. You shift from being a passenger to being the architect. When you dictate exactly where your hours go, you dictate exactly where your future goes. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really chew on. What wastes the most time in modern life? Look honestly at your own days and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Keep this question in mind because in our next explainer, we are going to completely break down the asset mindset. Make sure you subscribe to Smart Hustle. Guard those 24 hours, and I'll catch you in the next one.